Well, I want to see if this is actually a 2014 Polaris I'm working on. I'm pretty sure this guy is a 14. Oh crap. So right here I do have the cup, the retaining clip for the cup. That's for the bearings, and this piece right here goes on here. Now, as always, you want to make sure that the boot's going to go on. It's the very first thing. Next thing is this, then it's this. Now, to get all of this apart, once you cut off your old boot, cut the straps off, you're going to be left like this, and that's all greasy like that. Now, inside here, you can just see that groove right there. So just right in here, you can see that groove. And in that groove is where the retaining clip sits. So just inside there, you guys can see. So I think it goes all the way around there. And it's actually pretty loosey-goosey. As you can see, this one here kind of springs over itself, but she basically just goes in here and she's just a snap ring and it holds it. So once you get that out, this cup comes off. You drop this ball bearing cage backwards. Make sure you don't lose any ball bearings. Now this thing here, I'm going to show you closely. See how it's got that beveled edge, and on the back side here it doesn't. So trying to get this thing obviously to focus on this. So there's this spring right here that you leave this thing on, but this would be sitting there like this, and that spring sits inside of here. And all you've got to do with this thing sitting here is actually bang it forward, and that will actually close this and pop this off. You do have to use a hammer and just slide it up from the backside to get this off, and then you get the bearing cage, get all that stuff off, and now you're just left with this. Problem is when you go to put this back on, again, that's on the outside, nice and beveled, and this side's flat. The teeth don't start. You see how they're just down there? So trying to get this thing on, which I'm not going to do, but you basically got to try to get that key in and try to get it so it's almost in there, which it almost is already, and then just bang it on. So it is a little bit tricky, but once you actually get this thing off, and literally, guys, it's just this one single retainer, and it starts to come off. So it comes apart so easily that if you want, you can do both boots at the same time and just have two new boots on your axle. And just for the time it takes, because this forward one down here just off camera, so this guy right here, this one here actually doesn't come apart as easily at all. That's actually why they have that trail one. But I find it, if you can get your axles up pretty easy, get this back one off here, you can just get this, cut these ones here off, go ahead and get that off and just strap on new boots. So that's what we're doing today. So kind of like an unboxing video here. I did order this off Amazon. I did go to Polaris first and get the part number, which I believe is 220440. I don't know if it's going to be on this box or not. Oh wow, the box held together real nice. Sometimes you gotta love Amazon. Throw that in the garbage. Here's my bag of grease, which kind of got squished in shipping apparently. And there's my boot kit. And this is from Niche Industries. So if you do go on Amazon, I put an part number. It doesn't have it on here anywheres. It just says a CV axle boot. This one in particular, if you're looking for it, that's the part number. And this is for the inside boot on, well, most all Polarises have the same axle. So same boot part number, I think, for all of them. Not sure 100% because Polaris does like to change their part numbers. But yeah, okay, let me get this all apart here and we'll start putting this thing back together. Okay, so didn't expect. In this kit, actually, they give you the inside and outside boots. So that's a bonus. I actually want to mark that down because I don't really need that right now, but if I ever do, that's going to be for the rear. Where's that the inside? I don't know. And then surprise, surprise, they actually give you a new wheel nut washer and actually that new spring for right there as well. And this one doesn't look as thick, or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll replace that just because I do have a new one from Niche. So I did not expect to have two boots. And actually, considering this is the old one, it's going to be the smaller of the two that I'm using, because this one looks more like it, because that's about where she was, and then the bottom side there split up. That's actually where it split. If I can pick this up without getting grease all over me, that's the side that's split there. Of course, I had to cut this to get it off, but you can see where she split evenly. So okay, so I'll be putting this one here on. So first things first, this is the first thing that does go on. Actually, you know what? Just because, come on. Well, that's nice. Hardened steel, really. This thing won't come off. There it goes. Oh, I hear it. Still there it is. Got it. I found it. All right, so that's off anyways. First things first, the boot goes on because it covers up everything else after that, so I can slide that thing down. Now this cage carrier, I'm gonna just real quick talk about this cage carrier, okay, the ball bearing. So you can see here, you can see that crack there and that crack there. So that's not dangerous yet, but it is a sign of wear. And I've actually seen these where they crack in between. So the idea with this is when you get these things apart, make sure you check all the surfaces in between all the balls, like all these little zones right here. Check everywhere on them and make sure you don't have a crack. You can order these from Polaris, a rebuild kit, but honestly, by the time you do that, like this boot from Polaris is $176, I think it was. It's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. So, where's that new pin? Let's just compare the new to the old. Oh, that's all. Actually, it's about the same. No, it is smaller. It's definitely smaller. But that might make it easier to put back on too. So, I'm just gonna take that. Let's see if I can slide this down. No. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can slide it down. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that thing's way wider. Holy crap. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use this one. There's cheap and then there's just too cheap. You know what I mean? Let me get off. It just kind of stretched it too, so. Come on, get it off. Using my pick for what it was not intended to. Yeah, look, see how that thing just bent? So, all right, I'm gonna put this we're gonna put this thing, snap ring back on. See if it will. There we go, that's on there. I gotta grab my hammer, give me a sec. All right, so, put this thing up there. That lined up, cage is already in there, that's there. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, just like that. And then snap that back. And then you'll hear that. And then, well, here, let me just show you. It's just like I said. So now that's in there, right? That's that ring. And I bang that thing back. So if I actually tap that up, it's not going to come out. I'd have to bang that. But she's set, sorry. She's set right where she's supposed to be if it'll focus on that. There you go. So that's actually just how she's supposed to look right there, like that. Now I can bring this cage barrier back up like that. Start to put the bearings in her. And what I'm gonna do is clean this out as best I can. Empty that pack of grease into her, because once you actually get the grease into the cup, it fixes everything else. So, all right, minimal grease on me hands. Clean this cup up here, sorry. Clean that cup up there as best I can, like that. Get most of that grease out of there. There's still some in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now I will go ahead and just pack this up with this grease. So push this grease back. And just go ahead and put that in there like that and just start pressing her in. You seeing that? Didn't expect it to be like that, but that's some, okay, I'm gonna put gloves on, hold on. Okay, so I'll go ahead and push that down in there. That is some thick grease. That is definitely some thick grease. All right. So now, what I usually try to do is get some grease on the balls. What am I doing here? I'll put the grease in the balls here. Sorry, I just had to get this cage back on properly. And the grease actually helps kind of hold them in place as you do this. Of course, I can't turn the axle either while I'm doing this, but get that one. Get this one. Trust me, like you guys can see. I know you can't really see what I'm doing right here now. Sorry. Trying to get all these ball joints. Ah, no! Damn it, I didn't want that one to drop. Okay, so I've got those ones in there. Let me find where'd this one go that I just dropped. There it is. Oh, no, that's not it. Where'd you go? Ah, crap. The fuck did it go? Funny thing was that thing fell just right by my foot. I didn't see it. So I'll put grease back on that. Get that to turn in there like that. Beautiful. Now, get this turn in like that. And I don't have to go crazy in this. I do want this to press in though, because I need to be able to get that ring in. So now the ring is going to go on the back side here. This thing goes in real easy. Comes out real easy too, just like that. It snaps right into place. So now, basically, holy crap, that grease is hard. All right. I'm really gonna have to work, once I get this boot on, the strap put on here, this is gonna take some work. So if you guys don't have this handy dandy strap tool right here, 100% you guys need to buy one. You can see I just did a boot not that long ago and I didn't take this piece out of here, so slide that off. That comes off and that's gonna go in the scrap, and then I just put everything back together again. And we go ahead and put another strap on. So I'm gonna do that off camera because honestly it's just a time consuming thing. I'll kind of show you how it all finishes off. I also have to clean the rust off this thing here because it's pretty rusted there. It was stuck in his bike pretty good. Not as good as mine. Mine took me 36 hours to get out. This one only took me about an hour and a half fighting with it. Roughly an hour, something like that anyways, to get out of it. But I'll go ahead and I'll finish this up here and I'll go show you guys the finished product. I decided to record this for you guys. You guys might actually find this interesting, so useful. You can find this tool on Amazon if you just Google like a bootstrap tool. So once I get this on here, I just hook it around itself basically and go ahead and just start pulling it in. Now the real trick to this, honestly, is making sure your boot is in fact tight and in the proper spot as you tighten up. Now, of course, you're going to be tightening this thing up. It's going to be spring loading this piece, so it will spring back if it needs to. So this boot is actually in the exact spot it needs to be. Nice thing is I left a little bit of grease right there so I could see how much pressure I was putting on. You can feel it, but so about there like that. And then what I like to do is cut it off, get that tool off. I will now bend this over to, carefully, because there's still that edge there. And I'll actually tap this down just gently. Just tap that down there like that. And then now once you get it there, I left that a little bit short, but now you can just tap in those little tabs. See what I just did there? And then just like that. So that's that one. And this one here I've got to pull down because it actually has to go over this little rib. Sometimes that can be a little difficult. You are extending the boot. But there, just like that, that's exactly where she's supposed to sit. Is that on camera? Yes, it was. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was actually in camera. Once I actually have this, I'll actually pump this back and forth to make sure that that grease is in this boot. Like I can kind of, that grease is extremely hard. So I'm gonna have to work this stuff a lot to try and get this thing to actually move properly, because that grease is extremely hard. So now that I've actually done that, you guys seen this, you don't need to see me do this one here. Like I said, I got to clean this axle up, and I'll be putting it back in the machine. So if anything, like I said, I'll give you the part number for the niche. Where is it? Right there. That's the niche one if you didn't see it earlier. And the part number for this boot in particular is 220440. I believe that's what it is. I will put it right there for you guys, no matter what. I'll also have it down below in the description. So that's it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I do have another project with this video, with this 500 that I'll do, and I'll also be recording that for you. If you want to watch that, please subscribe to my channel, help it grow. I think you guys will like the next one. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. So stay tuned, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave a comment, let me know where you guys are at, and see you guys in the next one.